Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Hello everyone, this is Jim Lawyer here, and welcome to another live OhioRAAM show, the show about ultracycling and all things race across America, especially this time of year when it's coming up very soon. Hey Lee!
Hey, how many days away is it? Did you figure that ahead? It's not very far now.
No, it's probably about 22 or 23 now, I think.
I don't think it's quite. Is it that much? I don't know. Anyhow,
we're close.
yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit here.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about our time stations a little bit here because we're getting close. And we want people to know about them. We have 3 staff time stations. I'm going to talk about the first 2, 41 in Oxford, 42 in Blanchester. And they're great places along with Jim's. We'll talk about that in a moment. But
Yep.
We want to say that you can find these 2 time stations real easy. If you just go and look for the McDonald's in either Oxford or Blanchester. And in Oxford, the time station's right across the street from McDonald's. You can see it from there. And in Blanchester, it couldn't be any closer. It's practically on their parking lot.
Yes.
And probably part of it on their property, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So it's the Oxford and Blanchester. Just look for the McDonald's, and Jim's got a new location.
Yeah, we've got some exciting news.
Tell us about it in Chillicothe.
Yep. We're instead of where we were at down in the bottom end of Chillicothe, we've moved up before you get to Chillicothe, about 2 miles out of town. We'll be on the left side, and the Farmers Market Greenhouse has graciously given us their property to use, and we'll have a full-time gas station there that has diesel and gas, and the store will be open from like 6:30 in the morning to 9:30 at night with full food and ice and everything you'll need for your crew and ride. So it'll be a good time. And let me show a little video here with shows you kind of where it's at. Let me find it real quick. Right here. Down the route. So we'll have markers up and we'll be able to show everything that way.
Has RAM updated that, Jim?
They were supposed to. It's supposed to be the new location in the route books and everything.
Okay, I was wondering about that. I was looking at some route data today, but I didn't particularly notice that.
Yeah, we sent that in quite a while ago, and they said they would get it updated. So.
Okay, well, that's a great place.
Yes.
For those of you who like fresh fruits and vegetables and that sort of thing.
Yep.
What a great place to stop. How long are they? What are their hours open, Jim?
6. The in-store part is open from 6 a.m. to 9:30 at night, every day of the week. So we'll have the majority of the day there, and then we'll have some food and stuff for the off hours.
Okay, very good. But fuel, there are 24-hour fuels for the
Yes, with credit card. Yes, with credit card, 24-hour fuel, both diesel and gas.
Okay, very good. That's good to know, and I think that's a great location. Looks like from you got a lot of parking available there.
Definitely, we got a lot of room for RVs and everything else. So.
Well, I understand that's a better location than you had. There was some concern about safety where you were at.
Yes, unfortunately. So we're gonna get up, and this will be hopefully our permanent spot now.
Okay, as permanent as anything gets, huh?
There you go, exactly.
Well, we'll talk about it. We're getting very close to RAM, and boy, all of a sudden, my computer's going wacko here, Jim. But okay, I'm back again.
Cool.
The start dates is Tuesday, June 14th for solo riders and for all of the race across the West, which our guest Giovanni's doing. Teams start 4 days later, as always, on Saturday, the 18th. And that means in Ohio, the dates here for people coming through will be between Tuesday, June 20th and Friday, June 24th. Once in a while, we'll have in Oxford, maybe somebody make it on Monday back in the Christoph Strasser days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody has that much speed in this year's roster, but you
We
never
may be
know.
surprised. Yeah, we may be surprised.
There's
So,
always some rookie hiding in the background that we just haven't planned on.
yep,
But mainly, those are the main dates. Once in a while, there'll be a straggler through um, Chillicothe on Saturday.
mm-hmm,
They're not going to make the finish, but they're still on the route.
yep,
But those are the main days. And I did a little looking around, Jim, and
mm-hmm,
people ask when's a good time to come.
yep,
Uh, if you want to see a lot of riders in a short period of time, and remember, we mentioned that last week, that the thing about Ohio is the teams are now catching up with the
definitely,
solo riders, so that we have solo riders, teams, and everything coming through in a relatively short period of time. And I've decided, after looking at it, that Thursday, June
yep,
23rd, is the day at our time stations you're going to see the most riders. If
definitely,
you're not looking for a specific one,
mm-hmm,
that's the time to be here.
yep,
Maybe late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning for Oxford. And then because there's 110 miles, as I figure it, Jim, between
right,
the
yep,
time stations, which is roughly 8 hours of cycling. So it is a little later in Chillicothe than it is in Blanchester, and a little
mm-hmm,
later yet than Oxford. So those are times to think that about. Great time to come and see the race.
definitely,
We're happy to see people, make new acquaintances, make friends. Only be careful, because somebody might just put their finger on and say, "Would you like to volunteer here?"
there you go. We're always looking for good volunteers.
And I'm telling you, if you hang around there a couple of hours, you might get bit by the bug, and the next thing you know, you're spending 36 hours there straight, and
Yep,
that can happen, can it?
yep,
We
that's what
want,
happened to me.
yeah. I guess maybe I think back. It's been so long, I forget.
Yep,
But we want to talk about Mike Minium, the sign man,
definitely,
also, because he does such a wonderful job with signs through from mid Indiana to mid Ohio. And on the show website, OhioRAAM there's a place you can click and send him a few bucks. Or if you're visiting one of our time stations during
yep,
the race,
we will have
uh,
them to buy.
you'll have them to buy. Well, donate, Jim. We
Yeah,
have to say
sorry,
donate,
donate. Yes, you're correct.
because $10 donation gets you a
Yes,
sign, and that allows Mike to put a sign on the road. And he loses 40, 50 of those every year. You help put them out and pick them up. You
yep,
understand that, don't you, Jim?
yes, definitely.
Okay, let's put it into that.
Okay,
Um, well, I also want to. My computer, something going totally wacky, and I lost my window here for showing the website. But don't worry about getting it up, Jim.
okay,
On the website, OhioRAAMshow.com, we've got lots of links there. Now you can get all that on the Race Across America website, but we've tried to pick out the things you're most likely to want to see. The leaderboard and the tracker are there, links to that. You can find it there. I just want to say one thing about the leaderboard. On the leaderboard, you will see a feature which says predictions to the next time station. And that's very helpful, except be alert. Early in the race, for us here in Ohio, those are very, very wrong. They'll always be later, sometimes 24, 36 hours later than
mm-hmm,
what you see there to begin with. Don't pay any attention to it. If you're going to see a time station here in Ohio and you want to see a particular rider, pay no attention to that prediction until they cross the Mississippi River.
definitely.
And you'll still have more than 24 hours to get to one of our time stations to see
Yep,
that particular rider or team. Just because we've had people show up and say, well, it said they were going to be here yesterday. And,
yep,
well, no.
And another little tip is to watch when they hit the previous time station.
Yeah.
And you'll get a really good accurate test on when they'll get to the next one. So
unless
they stop for a sleep break, yes.
It's at night and they stop for a sleep break, and they can fool you. And sometimes they stop during the day for a sleep break too.
Definitely.
So that's part of the race across America, and just understand that. Jim, you want to talk about comments and giveaways and all that?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up right now. Yeah, basically, I think we're going to do the giveaway tonight for anybody that comments on the show or ask a question. Get your comments, and just if you don't want to ask a question, just tell us where you're at and what, just say hey. And we're going to give away one of the OhioRAAM Show mouse pads that Lee just showed.
Very coveted. So, you cannot buy these in stores.
Nope.
And 9 out of 10 doctors recommend our mouse pad.
There you go. And we will have a stash of them at Chillicothe that we're going to have a spinning wheel to do a giveaway.
Oh. So
yes.
Great. I got a couple little pieces of news. We are going to be following, I'm not going to take time to run that video, but we are going to be following Soren Rosenkilde. I almost mentioned the philosopher, the great Kierkegaard. Soren Rosenkilde, who will be doing the Race Across America solo this year. And I already have put a video up today from his crew chief, Niklaus. Did a great job. It is the gold standard, Jim, of reporting.
Definitely.
What he did.
Very, very good.
Little air wind noise in there. We talked with him about that. Hopefully he can get that fixed. But we might have some more. We are still working with a couple people, and those are coming up. And
we're going to do some live reports from the time station also.
Yeah.
At least in Chillicothe, and I may head to Blanchester and Oxford to do a couple of special reports there.
That'd be great, because I don't think, unfortunately, I'll probably be able to get to time stations this year.
Yeah, we'll try to fill in for you, Lee.
Between health and caregiving requirements, just at this point seems like too much. That might change. Who knows? I might show up. Who knows? We're also going to be following later in July, Paul Korskowski. He's going to do the Michigami, the circumnavigation of Lake Michigan, unsupported race. And he's going to be reporting on that for us.
Yep.
We at this point do not have a June 12th show. We're working with someone, might get someone here. We might just take it off, Jim, and catch our breath before the tour. Before RAM begins.
Alrighty.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to click that follow button if you're watching on YouTube. We want you to subscribe and ring that bell while you're there. That always helps us. I think we've taken about as much time as we ought to.
I know, they're probably tired of seeing our faces.
Yeah, well, I know they're tired of seeing mine. But poor Jim, he just got off the tandem. He's kind of...
Yep.
You haven't had a shower, have you, Jim?
No, I kind of did a quick...
I noticed that when you walked in here.
Yep, I got a quick wipe off and jumped on the line, so...
Hey, let's go out to Breckenridge, Colorado. One of my favorite places on earth. Great place to ski. I've done a lot of skiing there. I love that town. Right now, it's not, I think skiing season is probably pretty well over, if not over altogether. I imagine so. Giovanni Prosperi. Hi, Giovanni. How are you?
Hey, Giovanni.
Hi, how are you? Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Glad to have you with us. And you have one of your crew members, Tom Fanning, there with us. And then we're going to go to Mishawaka, Indiana, where we've got Les Crooks. Hi, Les. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. I know Mishawaka kind of well. I am a graduate of Bethel College there in
right down the road.
Mishawaka. It's called Bethel University now. I think the administration would rather I not mention that I'm a graduate of there. I suspect they'd sooner not let people know about that. But anyhow, glad to have you with us, guys.
Thank you very much.
Nice to be here.
Well, Giovanni's been on the show a number of times, so we're going to get to Les here and get acquainted with him. Les, you're doing the Race Across America 2022, and you're rookie. Is that right?
That is correct. I'm first year. First year as a racer and first year as a crew.
Awesome.
Tell us about your cycling background, how you got into cycling, and
Well, I mean, I've always been into bikes. I grew up in the rural country, back roads in Michigan, and so biking was the only way to escape the monotony of the country life. And so I've always been interested in bikes, and then shortly after high school, I had this dream of one day riding from Colorado to Michigan, and went to college, got married, had kids, and life happens. And as kids get older, I got a little bit more free time, and so I bought a fat tire bike, and I liked it. And so I did a little bit more biking and racing with that. Bought a road bike, started doing some more riding with that, a lot longer distances. And I did 2019, I did the Lake Michigan Loop in 7 days, and really enjoyed that. And then I started researching the RAM, kept popping up. And so I figured out how to qualify. And so I went down to the Natchez Trace 444, October of 2020.
Wow.
As the pandemic stuff was starting to heat up.
Mm-hmm.
Did that race, qualified, and I've been doing. I did a race in March down in Florida, the Florida 500. I did the National 24-Hour Challenge with Giovanni last summer, and those are about the three major ultra races that I've done.
so you qualified at the Natchez 444
Correct.
for
Yep.
RAM. Okay.
Yep.
A lot of people aren't aware of this, but you have to qualify to do the Race Across America, and there's a number of qualifiers around the world, more all the time.
Yep.
And Natchez Trace 444 is one of them.
Yeah, it was nice because it was close to home,
Mm-hmm.
and there aren't a lot of them that are over on this side east of the Mississippi, and so
Yeah.
Definitely.
it was a
Well, we
convenient.
sure like to get one here in Ohio. We used to
Definitely.
have one, but it bit the dust, and there's some people dreaming about it. Hopefully, we'll get one, Jim.
Yes, definitely.
And because there isn't anything really in this part of the country for a RAM qualifier. So tell us about your team and your crew.
So I have a 13-member crew. My crew chief is Tim Dukeman, and my PR director is his wife, Heather Dukeman. My wife is going. My 3 sons are going, who are all 2 of them are college guys. One's a senior in high school, and then a friend of theirs is going with us. My brother-in-law is going. A friend from Chicago. I have a nurse going.
Wow.
My coach Johnny's we're gonna pick him up in Durango, and he's gonna be part of the crew. And I'm probably missing some other people. we got a lot of people on the crew. We have a 30-foot RV,
Mm-hmm.
a Ford Econoline van set up for direct follow, and my support wagon. The RV is a crew. It's crew quarters. I don't anticipate seeing too much of the RV or seeing the inside of the RV at least. I'll have all my stuff I need in the van, and then we'll have a car rented for the first 4 days when we leave California till I think we drop it off in Durango, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, big crew, excited. It's an interesting crew. I don't think we have a lot of team dynamics that are going to disrupt a team. There's not a lot of
That's good. Yes.
opinionated people in there. I think of all the people, I'll probably be the grumpiest of all of them. Which,
Well, you're entitled to that, Les.
yeah, exactly. My nurse is a little feisty, which is okay. I've known her for, I don't know, 20, 25 years or so, 24
Yeah,
years.
well, I mentioned last week I've been married to 2 nurses, so I know feistiness comes with it.
Yeah.
Les, you have a charity. You want to tell us a little about it?
Yeah, so I'm writing for, it's a charity called the Crucible Project, and they're based out of Chicago. They have satellites all over the country, and in fact, they have a couple in Mexico and in Africa. They just started another program in Africa. What they do is, the long and short of it is, they work on helping people overcome things that have happened in their life that are blocking them from going forward. So past mental health, injuries, we all have wounds from our past. And so it's about looking at what's working in our life and really what's not working in our life, and figuring out how do we fix what's not working so we can be more productive men and women in our world. And I love the ministry. In fact, one of my crew members is in the leadership in the ministry, and he's going to be with us until St. Louis. And it's a great ministry. I'm honored to put their badge on my jersey and carry it across the country.
Great.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to learn more about that Crucible project, you can go to the OhioRAAMshow.com website, and in the show notes right below this video, you'll see a link to it. And Jim put it up there, OhioRAAMshow.com. And you can find out more about that Crucible project created. Well, you mentioned that Giovanni is your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Giovanni in here. Giovanni, welcome back to the OhioRAAM Show. I mean, I don't know how many times we've had you here, but
Never enough.
Never enough.
Yeah.
Fourth time, my goodness. We'll have to start paying you residuals here.
There you go.
For me, it's a no. So I'm okay.
Don't worry. I haven't paid Jim in 2 years. I mean, he's about to report me to fair employment or something.
No, never. It's a joy to do this.
Giovanni, you're the coach of Les. How'd that come about?
We met at the 24-hour challenge in Michigan, and I understood he wanted to do RAM, and I proposed. I said, I'm a coach. Last year I did the RAM 2-man team.
Mm-hmm.
If you want my help, I'm available.
So how often do you contact one another? How do you do it? And
not so often, because he's very diligent. I give him his training plans, and he just follow.
That's all. That's a great kind of person to have as your coachee, so to speak.
He's very accurate and diligent. I'm very happy. Very, very happy with him.
Excellent.
I didn't mention that I guess I did mention you're in Breckenridge, Colorado, there with Tom Fanning. We'll talk Tom in a minute. And you're there trying to get a little altitude acclimatation before you do the race across the West, which is 900 miles and change.
And the hottest part.
The hardest part is the change.
Yep.
And from Oceanside, California to Durango, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned you're going to be a part of Les's crew once you get to Durango. Is that correct?
Yes, if I survive, yes.
You will survive. You're going to finish strong.
Well, we have adopted, we call Giovanni our Buckeye Italian here. He found love, didn't you, Giovanni?
Yeah.
You fell in love and gave up your beautiful Italy to come and live here in Ohio, and we're glad to have you here. And so
And I'm glad to live in Ohio. I love Ohio. I don't love just my wife. I love Ohio and I love the United States. Oh,
Awesome.
okay, very good. And Tom Fanning is here. You're a Ram veteran, aren't you, Tom? You're on Giovanni's crew.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about your Ram history, Tom. You go back.
Oh my gosh, I'm an old timer. I go back quite a few years, Lee. I went on a cross-country bike tour in 1983 after I got out of the Navy. I saw Lon Haldeman and Susan Notarangelo on a tandem crossing New Mexico, and heard about them, read about them. Of course, everybody read about Lon back in the day. Ultra cyclists of decades, and they were coming through, and they really gracious. They stopped to talk to us and everything. So when I got back from that, I embarked on ultra cycling and decided that I wanted to race across America. So I left the East Coast, I moved out to Arizona, and I made several attempts in 84 and 85 to qualify. I wasn't successful at it. But I was just persistent because it just kind of bit me. I wanted to do it. I wanted to get on the start line, biggest race in the world. And 1986, I finally qualified up in Illinois on Hall of Fame. Got a chance to participate in 1987. My first time doing it was a learning experience. I got to Colorado at DNF and finished. Took some time off. Went back in 1991. Had sponsors, had crew, had great people, and didn't even get out of California. Have the nutrition plan failed. Desert heat just got the best of me and hospitalized. It's a common story.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I had all these resources, and I really felt like I just got to go back again. And most people know, once the Ram bug bites you, and you enter the first time, and you get so far the first year, you get so far the second year, it's like you've got to finish the race.
Definitely,
this is something that's going to get you for the rest of your life.
It's an illness, Tom, for which there is no known cure, and no one really wants to be cured anyhow.
That's right.
And the thirst never gets satisfied, because once you experience it, you're always part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great family. So, but I was fortunate enough to come back in 1993 with great people, great crew, and a lot of experience. Obviously, I did tell myself that I wasn't going to go back to Ram unless I won a qualifier. So I went up to the qualifier up in New York State that was put on by Jack Papa back in the day, and I was able to do the qualifier and finish first. I felt like I was ready to go back to Ram and have a successful process. So I got a chance to go back in 1993, and all the cards came out great. Everything worked the way it was supposed to work. I had some hard times in the desert. I slowed down. I got through the heat, got into the mountains, and I just kept picking off people. I kept getting further ahead, climbing the charts, and I was successful and I finished fourth in 10 days, 18 hours, and got my Ram ring. So success. It took a lot of years, but I was so happy to finish. I just had to get it done. It's a lifetime goal. Really fortunate.
Hey, Jojo there, Giovanni wants to know what's the most difficult race you've done so far. Jojo, tell us where you're from. Just give us another text there. Let us know where you're from.
The hardest one was a Ram to main team last year. Very, of course.
Okay. All righty. Well, you brought up a subject which I continually ask about because I think it's a matter. Cleveland. Okay, Jojo. Yep. You're up there.
Another Buckeye.
Another Buckeye up there in the other corner of the state. Guys, the same question to both Giovanni and Les. Are you ready for the heat? Do you understand what it's going to be? How are you going to deal with it?
I love the heat. That's why I'm doing it just the race across the West this year, because I want to be only in the heat.
There you go.
He's going to have the heat. You're going to stop before you get up into the high mountains, right?
Yeah. No, the hardest point of my life was after Durango Wolf Creek Pass. That's the hardest thing I've ever done on my bike. For sure.
Wow.
Les, what about heat? Have you thought about it? Have you trained
Oh, yeah.
for it? Are you
Well,
prepared for it?
As Mike Tyson said, you always have a plan until you get punched in the face. Yeah. So my Garmin today told me that I'm 12% acclimated to the heat. Not sure what that.
There you go.
We've not had the warmest of springs yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only a couple days in the 80s, and I think this week we have a day in the 90s, so it'd be nice to have some heat. I've done some research on cooling vests and some sort of apparel like that. I don't think I'm going to go with that, just because there's some research that says that it kind of holds in heat, and it's not as good as it sounds. And so getting water down when I need to. I like the heat. I think I am pretty comfortable with the heat. When Johnny and I did that race last summer, man, it was, I don't know, it was 90 and 90% humidity. It was a rough day. I mean, they were taking people to the hospital, and it was
the moisture was very.
Yeah, it was very humid. Very humid.
Wow.
So the dry heat, I'm not sure about dry heat because we don't get dry heat around here. It's always humid.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And 90 isn't 120 either.
no. No.
And one of the things that I've been watching what Vic's been publishing. We didn't talk about next week, Jim.
No, we'll do that towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah, because Vic Armijo is going to be on. Armijo is going to be on next week's show. I haven't seen him mention it, but they've had a problem with some crews not being able to find ice because the places you can get it in the desert are few and far between. And by the time some people's crews get there, other crews have already bought up all the ice. So ice is a real issue out there, it seems. At least that's what I'm hearing, Jim.
Definitely.
Well, I just snagged the cooler company as a sponsor, and so I have 2 giant super coolers that I think we can load ice up in California and probably could make it almost to Durango with a load of ice.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's
Great planning.
Yeah, Kong coolers. It's a nice cooler.
Excellent.
Les, you got any goals particularly for this race? Sure you have.
Goal number 1 is to finish.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to race. I have to tell myself that I'm racing the race, and it's just about me. And so I'm telling my crew, I don't want to know. I want to know where 2 people are. One is I want to know where Johnny is at until Durango, and 2, I have a friend. He's from Grand Rapids. Jim Trout is racing the solo, and I want to know where he's at just to kind of keep up with him. But I don't want to know where anybody else is until I get to the Mississippi. Then in the Mississippi, maybe we can change the game plan or do something different. I'm really trying to get across the country. My target day is 11 days, and that gives me a little buffer there. That gives me 275 miles a day or so, which is I think it's in my ballpark. Yeah. Until those things that I don't know will happen. That's the plan. 11 days.
Okay. Jojo asked what the elevation gain for Race Across the West. Do you know, Giovanni?
It's around 50,000 feet.
Yep.
Yeah, I know in meters. In meters, 15,000 meters. I still go with the metric system.
Just off the top of my head, that means that roughly half of your elevation gain will be by the time you get to Durango.
Yep.
And don't ever forget, a large part of that elevation gain is not the Rocky Mountains, but
There you go.
West Virginia.
Yeah,
Right outside our homes.
I know.
And
Last year
I get chills every time I think about West Virginia and cycling. Listen, we used to say that at time station 43, you could see the hills right from there, but at the new location,
You won't be able to.
further
Yep.
before you see the hills. But boy,
Definitely.
once you cross the Scioto River, you're in for it. And maybe I shouldn't punch that too much, Jim. I mean,
No.
Me and
Giovanni
Leslie.
says stay quiet. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Giovanni.
Save a little energy, though, for the
Yeah.
last 500 miles.
Giovanni, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, that
He was telling
I
me,
took
keep
place
shut.
with
Keep your
me
mouth shut.
last year. We went to ride the last miles of Bremen, the most important climbs on the last mile. And he knows that it's very tough there,
Very tough.
especially the 4 ones in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. When the Garmin 1030 Plus has all the elevation is in green, and then you get to this one hill, and then it's like 45 degrees and it's red. You know,
There you go.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, they're short climbs.
They're short climbs.
Yeah.
Well, how would you describe off season? Is there one?
I really don't have an off season. Let's say that when it's very cold in Ohio and it's plenty of snow, I cross training, so I go running and hiking in the snow. And my wife bought for me a row machine, so I like rowing too.
Awesome.
And some weightlifting.
Les?
But I don't have an off season. I like to work out all year long. I don't believe in that week or 2 weeks of
Yep.
stuff. As a coach, I don't give that breaks.
Not
No.
having breaks. No,
I can give like maybe a recovery week with less training,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
but not.
Well, Les, we're looking forward to seeing you here in Ohio.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
We
can't
can't
wait.
wait to see all of you. Yes.
And, but
Yep.
want to see Les on his bike.
Definitely.
We got 3 wonderful time stations waiting here to cheer you on, ring a bell, toot a horn.
Yeah. Hey, Lee, are you
Whatever.
going to ask your patented normal question you ask everybody?
Yeah, I thought I would forego it tonight.
Okay.
Jim.
All right. Okay.
It seems like it doesn't get a lot of tread after all.
Gotcha.
Unless you want to ask it.
I'll ask it for
Okay.
a change of pace. Maybe we'll search some up. What is the one thing when you wake up at 4 o'clock that hits you about RAM that scares you or intimidates you or makes you stay awake?
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh man. I want to go back to bed.
Wait a minute. This is ultra cycling.
No sleeping allowed.
No
Yeah,
sleep
yeah.
allowed.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to getting up at 4 because it gives me a little time before the sunrise, and I love to watch the light come up in the trees or the mountains or wherever, and then seeing the sun peek over and start to warm you up. The thing that scares me is that out west, as soon as that sun comes up, it's going to start getting hot real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot more time spent in the sun.
Yep.
What are you looking forward to the most, other than finishing?
Ooh, I am looking forward to meeting all the people along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to streaming it on Facebook Live and Instagram and talking to people as I travel across the country and just It's been so fun to meet people, and through Strava or Facebook, people I don't even know that are just excited to watch me do this race. And so I'm just excited to do the race for them, so to speak, that I can vicariously live out somebody else's dreams of riding across the country. And I'm just excited to represent that I would accept the challenge on their behalf.
Well, I'll guarantee you, by the time you leave Oceanside, you'll have friends that you never believed, and who will care for you in ways you didn't understand. This is a great family, isn't it, Giovanni?
Yes.
Great family, and maybe you've already learned that with other races. But Giovanni, we wish you well. Be safe out there in the desert, and that long climb up to Flagstaff. You too as well, Les. Remember, a slow pace is better than no pace.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And keep on pedaling. Jim, let's give something away, okay?
All right. Let me get this going here. And get there. All right. Here we go.
Okay, who's going to win it? Is it going to be no?
Sakti.
Oh, my friend Sakti.
Yes.
Hey,
awesome.
Very good. I don't think we have your address, Sakti. I know we've talked to you before, but Jim, tell us how to.
Let me get that up here. Yeah, definitely. You send your information to. Oh, that's not it.
That's good. Leave that up. That's a good one.
Okay, you want to do that one? Okay.
It'll come directly to me.
Okay.
And I have the mouse pad.
Okay, that's excellent. All right. So send your information to OhioRAAMShow@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's good. So thank you all for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for having us, Lee and Jim.
Thank you so much.
And we can't wait to see you all at the time stations.
Thank everybody for watching. I do want to say that next week we're going to have none other than Vic Armijo, who is the RAM media director here. We're going to be talking, just taking a general look at the roster, at the race profile, see who's there, who isn't. We're not going to make any predictions because that would get us in hot water, and they're always wrong anyhow. But we'll be looking at see who's who on Race Across America, Race Across the West, what have you. He's a great resource, great friend of the show. He's been on it many times, and we'll be glad to have him once again. So that said, Jim, let's get down here and
find our good friend
Greg Zuber. Where are you at? Come in here and help us out.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.